episode 105 of the City Brew Tours podcast, where we explore the best craft beer cities across the United States. I'm your host, Brian, back again for another month, and it is actually the 2-year anniversary of us doing this podcast, so we thought we would do something very special and bring back the first city we ever featured on the podcast. And it wouldn't be a new month featuring a new city, well, a repeat city for the first time, without a new co-host. So I want to say hi to my good friend, fellow City Brew Tours guide, Braxton. Braxton, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Great to be on here with you guys.
Well, great to have you. You want to tell everybody at home a little bit about your background in beer and like your relationship with beer? How are you in beer?
Absolutely. We have a great relationship. I think it's a beautiful time of year to be drinking beer and be drinking it with you guys. So good evening to everybody. My name is Braxton. I am a City Brew Tours beer guide here in the city of Pittsburgh. So if you ever find yourself in the city, please feel free to hit us up. We have some great breweries here as well. Been drinking for a long time, probably before the legal limit, but now that I can, it's a great relationship, and we have a booming craft beer scene here in Pittsburgh. So I feel really lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah, and to our live stream viewers, our video watchers, if you haven't noticed, we're coming to you live for the first time ever from our featured brewery. Our first featured brewery of the city of Cincinnati is Streetside Brewing, and we're actually here with the head brewer, Victor Navarro. How's it going?
Hey guys, how you doing?
They were gracious enough to host us here in their, I'm going to mess this up, Columbia Tusculum?
Oh, you got it.
I got it.
That's how I pronounce it, at least.
There we go. I'm going to go with your pronunciation then. Columbia Tusculum tap room and brewery. We are outside on the patio here, and we are going to do our tasting of our featured beer from Streetside tonight, but we are also featuring another brewery. We have 6 breweries this month. We figured 2 years, go all out, 6 different breweries over these next 4 weeks we're going to be talking about. So we have 2 beers tonight. We have the 50 West Chasing Sunsets Peach Ale, and we also have the Streetside Return to the Mac Coffee Blonde Ale. And Braxton, I'm going to throw it to you because I couldn't walk into this brewing establishment and bring in outside alcohol. So I don't have the Chasing Sunsets in front of me. So Braxton, we're going to rely on you for tasting notes. Please indulge us.
Absolutely. So first I want to try to show off the can. Probably having a little bit of a difficult time here. Nice, beautiful can. But yeah, as soon as I had the ability to, I wanted to pour it. So this is a delicious, juicy beer that we have right here. Brewed with peaches and just a little bit of wheat malt, but it's just really approachable, juicy, really peachy flavored in there, and it's perfect for like these really hot spring days that we've been having. So it's nice and refreshing too. So yeah, starting off with a great beer.
And it's perfect for a brewery like 50 West. It's perfect for us to feature a beer like that from 50 West because if you've ever seen their brewery, if you've ever been to their brewery, they have volleyball courts outside. They have pickleball courts outside. They definitely have a very summery, like beachy feel to them. So to be featuring a peach ale from them makes sense. And a guy just pulled up on a motorcycle. So we're gonna roll with the live. Oh, and he shut it off. Perfect. This is amazing. Great. Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts on the Chasing Sunsets. And without further ado, we're gonna get to our interview with Victor here through the barking dogs on the patio here. We just need a crying baby, and we'll hit the loud noise outside.
Card right there.
Trifecta, yeah. Sorry, Franny. Good luck editing this. So as always, we're going to start with our quick sip questions. Victor, these are quick questions with quick answers. Help us get to know you quickly, fastly. So what's your favorite non-street side beer?
Favorite non-street side beer? Something I always keep at home is it's gonna be a little bit of surprise. I always keep like Miller Lite on hand, or High Life. I'd say High Life. High Life is probably my favorite beer.
It's the champagne of beers.
It's the brewer's beer, really.
It is.
Yeah, High Life. I can just drink it, and I won't catch a buzz for like maybe at 12. So, it's something you can crush on a summer day. Pretty much just like getting hydrated. Yeah, I'd say High Life.
Cool. What's your favorite style of beer to brew? Favorite style of beer to make?
Favorite style of beer to make. Here at Streetside, I'd say like a nice juicy IPA. It's a little bit of a longer brew day, but it's like labor of love. What we do here, we like to do like a really nice hop stand that kind of brings out more like aromatics out of the hops, a little more juiciness out of the hops. So yeah, a hazy IPA, nice oats, a little rougher on the transfer, a little longer. And you got to cool the beer down. So it's just an extended brew day, but you know, the end result is always something I'm really proud of and very happy to find that's really worth it what we do.
Turns out all that work is definitely worth something in the end.
Oh yeah.
What's your this is a funny question because we found out just before the podcast started here, you just moved here. So
Yeah.
what's your favorite season in Cincinnati so far of the two that you
Oh man, definitely not so hot. I mean, I'd say spring for sure.
it is hot today.
Yeah, it's a hot day. It's getting up there now, and definitely in the brew house you feel it a lot more when you're got a boiling kettle of wort wafting in your face.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
So definitely cooler seasons, but it's very much like Chicago, where I come from. Yeah, I'd say fall definitely is probably any brewer's favorite season.
Yeah. Oktoberfest season, fest beer season.
Oh yeah.
So I read on your bio on the Streetside website that you do some stand-up comedy on the side.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a favorite comedian of all time?
Favorite comedian right now, I'd say it's Shane Gillis. He's like kind of in that like crossroads of cringy comedy, a little more maybe not as politically correct, but definitely gets that laugh out of you. Yeah, Shane Gillis. He was just in town and I just missed him. But yeah, Shane Gillis is the man. He's got a nice sketch comedy show on YouTube, and he's a funny guy.
And our favorite final quick sip question. Have you ever seen Bigfoot?
Have I ever seen Bigfoot? No. I mean, when I take my my hat off, I definitely think I look like him because I have a giant afro. I hate getting haircuts. So yeah, in the morning, I think I'm the closest thing to Bigfoot. So I'd say yes, I have.
Self-report. Yeah.
All right. Well, Victor, what brought you from Chicago down to Streetside Brewing, and then how did you get started in brewing? In the beginning.
So to kick it off, to get me into craft beer was definitely like those higher ABV, West Coast. You see, kind of me wanting to be able to afford them, but I couldn't. So me and my buddies got together and we're like, hey, like we could do like 5-gallon batches, and it's, we can do this. We just like should start trying to brew beer. And the first time we did it, it was in my dad's kitchen, and just it ended up very horribly. I didn't have enough sugar. Didn't know what to do. We took some really cool pictures though. That was kind of like the highlight of it was some nice pictures, but I fermented, and that was like one thing that I took from that and was like, this is pretty cool. You could pitch like live yeast and something happens. You see it bubbling, you see life happen. So that kind of like, blew my mind. Just a kid from the South Side that like I've never tried anything like this. Craft beer isn't like the most popular thing, but yeah, from there, like just did it as a hobby, wanted to get better at it. Just like anything you pick up. So I did it as a hobby for the longest. I had roommates, my buddy Eric Flores and his brother Luis Flores. We were all living together, home brewing, and just kind of ripping it out, trying to make like the next best thing. And that's when like juicy IPAs were like a thing. And Luis took it and made it his own. He really like nailed it in, and that was his claim to fame. He ended up working his way through the ranks, and he's a head brewer now. Eric Flores, his brother. same thing, worked his way up through Goose Island, actually. Ripped it out there, and then got hired as a head brewer at Whiskey Hill, which is the first brewery that I started at. He kind of threw me a life raft because I was like, I hate this job. I don't want brewing to be a hobby anymore. I'm like, all I need to do is I just need to pay my rent and feed myself, and like the rest, whatever, man. Like just cover those things, do that for me. And it was just a big passion project. I was lucky to be young enough, and I didn't have too many things attached to me. I was like, let's do it, man. Let's make $15 an hour and brew beer. And from there, it was we struck a lot of luck, and a lot of like hard work paying off. I shouldn't say all luck, but we took away a FOBAB gold medal in the year 2020 Festival of Barrel Aged Beers. We won for Seismic Overlay. It was a barrel aged stout with vanilla, coconut, pecans, and it was an absolute banger. We loved it so much. Like that was our baby. That was like I worked for free that day. That was before I even joined on like Whiskey Hill. So from that gold medal, Streetside that same year won a silver under us, and that's when we were like, let's collab. And that's when I met Garrett, the owner, brewing manager here. And then from there, our friendship kind of grew. I'd see him at festivals and we just talk, and me going through like my progressions as someone in the industry, going from a brewer to packaging manager, learning bigger scale brewing techniques and all types of operating procedures through more. From there, I kind of grew out and was like, I have the knowledge now. And Streetside was looking for a head brewer. I was like, let's do it. Like I can move to Cincinnati. I can make this work.
You can pick up.
Still unattached.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
That was a lengthy answer, but that's just kind of the background.
No, but that helps people out.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about Moore. You said you were the packaging manager there. I'm a big fan of Moore. I've ran into them at a couple festivals around my way out in Pittsburgh, and they're definitely in my world known for big barrel aged beers, high ABV beers, high gravity beers. So what were some challenges that came with packaging beers like that at Moore?
Something we came across was just like finding the right blend, really trying to help everybody out. And like what I liked there was there was no like, oh, we're just gonna taste this and like you hang back there. It was like a very collaborative effort. I remember just being asked, like, there's a whole table just full of barrel aged beer, and it was like 11 in the morning, and just having to taste that at 11 in the morning, not having lunch yet. Just an absolute blast. I want to say like the biggest challenge was trying to work, a little buzzed after all that. Packaging it, I mean, I'm a very like hands-on person. I come from a very big manufacturing background, so machine operating is all kind of came natural to me. The canning line, the bottling line, making sure like those dissolved oxygen levels were as low as can be, and just kind of really hammering at that. Yeah, I mean, I love my time at Moore, and yeah, I mean, it was a great experience for me. Yeah, I think that the biggest challenge was trying to work a little buzz before eating food.
All right. So I have in front of me the one and only Return of the Mac. The only thing better than this is the song. So, Victor, what can you tell me about this beer?
The Return of the Mac is actually the second most produced beer here. I think we're working on batch 46 in a few weeks from now.
Wow.
The one that holds the crown is Sabra, which is our flagship hazy IPA with citrus, Simcoe. It's it's really like surprising for me, like to see that Coffee Blonde has kind of made its way to be like a flagship. I feel like it's kind of something you brew and you just kind of you give it here and there. But here, I mean, it sells incredibly well. It's very approachable. When you take the sip, you get like that nice honey malt sweetness, a little bit of toastiness, and then the coffee really brings it all together. And it's incredibly light. I can drink this on a warm summer day. Yeah, the owner, managing brewer, Garrett, I heard stories. I'm not sure he hasn't confirmed it with me or not, but he brewed it for his girlfriend. She's like a big coffee lover. So that's very like, to make a flagship beer that we make more than anything here. You know, a beer for his wife. So I thought that was very sweet. I know my girlfriend definitely appreciates coffee like at all times of the day. Yeah, no, Return of the Mac, really great, really approachable. It's just a great beer to keep us, relative and on that spectrum of approachableness is what I would.
Do you is it the same coffee every time? Is it the same coffee blend or roast or whatever?
I believe so. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which roastery, but I know we have a good relationship with them. We hit them up for all of our coffee here. Yeah, I think that's really great. Breweries and roasteries, like it's a beautiful partnership, in my opinion. They go so well. There's a lot of thought and technique goes into both. So yeah, it's really nice that we have established that relationship.
Awesome. So, Victor, what gets you excited about brewing at Streetside? And then also, after telling us that story about Return of the Mac, is your girlfriend kind of in your ear like, hey, I like this type of beer. Hey, I like peaches or I like strawberries. Are you okay, honey? I got you. I got something in the works for you.
She's definitely, an inspiration on a lot of levels. I've been toying around at home. We both went to Mars Brewing in Chicago, and we had something that I've never had before. I'm not quite sure if I can really pull it through here, with the whole like trying to separate any mixed culture stuff and like what our regular operations, ale yeast and all that stuff. Something a little too wild. I was looking into fermenting a kombucha, a hard kombucha, maybe around like 3.5%, 4%, and then putting that in a wine barrel. This is solely based off of something I had at Mars Brewing, and it was one of the most interesting things I've ever had. I've never experienced that before, and I really am trying to hammer something down at home and seeing if I could bring it in here and telling these guys like, hey man, like this will sell. Like people love like that weird stuff, like that Return of the Mac on tap. We have fruited sours. We're all over the spectrum. We have great lagers here. It's just kind of like pitching that other piece of contrast on this tap list, and I think experimenting will keep us on our toes here. And yeah, I think that's kind of my goal, is to push a little bit of innovation, keep those name brands pumping through, keep the quality up there. Yeah, I think those are my goals here. I mean, this brewery, when I came in, I was already walking into a well-oiled machine. I didn't have to do any crazy repairs. These guys really got it down. Having Garrett as our managing brewer here is very very essential and very thankful to have some backup. I know I've been in situations where my owner operator is just like not operating. He's not here at all. So there's some pros and cons to that, but having Garrett here is very, very great and very supportive, and we can bounce ideas off of each other. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if he's down for the hard kombucha. I have to have him taste it and that's the way I'm going to convince them. It's just going to happen.
Gonna have to talk them
Awesome.
into that one.
Yeah.
So we mentioned you've recently moved down here, taking the job here at Streetside, coming from Chicago, a city that we featured just 2 months ago on this show. This is a two-part question. What do you see differently in the beer scene down here compared to Chicago? And what are you excited about in Cincinnati compared to, moving here from Chicago?
So I think a big difference I see is there's a lot more community involvement here in Cincinnati. I think for a lot of people, Streetside is their that guy passed. Yeah, so I think it's for a lot of people, it's people's community bar. It's where they come to after like a hard day of work. It's that really like tightness that I can appreciate about Streetside. Compared to Chicago, Chicago is like, you just kind of want to go to your favorite spot. It's so saturated. It's a very fortunate for a lot of people out there that they can pick and choose what great beer they want to have. Chicago is very, very much, if you want to have a great burger, you go to Old Irving. Great barrel aged beer, you go to Old Irving. You go to great barrel aged beer, you want to go to Goose Island. Like, it's just it's incredibly readily available to you in Chicago. It's the biggest difference I see is how you can go to any store and you'll see world class barrel aged beer sitting on the shelf at a reasonable price, and then you walk into a random brewery and they also have that same selection for you right on tap. Out here it's a little more scarce. It's not to say that like there aren't amazing breweries out here, but you have less to choose from in Cincinnati, and we're just really happy to have people come here and enjoy everything we make. Yeah, I look forward to Cincinnati being like home for the time being. Like, I've been very welcomed by everybody, and yeah, I like the fact that I've lived 6 minutes away from here, whereas working at Moore, I'm driving 40 minutes. I'm filling up my gas tank 2 times a week. I just filled my gas tank up for the first time in like 3 weeks, and I'm like, Jesus, this is the life.
I can get used to this.
I can roll down the hill and I'll end up here, Yeah, no, I'm super excited to get to know everyone out here and really see what I can do for Streetside.
Well, I could tell. I hope you're feeling the love from the local community, because I've been to 4 different breweries already today before coming here. Told everybody what I was doing, going to this place, and then I'm finishing the day at Streetside. We're doing the show from there. And every person that I talked to was like, "Oh, I love Streetside. You got to try this beer from there. Oh, you got to try the sour ale from there. It's a great neighborhood spot. It's just right around the corner from my house." So like, I hope you guys feel the love, because definitely the brewing industry, the people that I met working at the different breweries today, definitely love this place. And I hope it works out really well and you can continue to grow here.
Yeah, thank you.
Braxton, final thoughts.
I've been trying to keep on sipping on this, and I'm trying to savor it because I just don't want to drink it all in one because it's so good. I didn't think I would like a coffee blonde this much, so it's just like I can see why it's number 2. So doing a great job, doing great work, and I look forward to maybe in the future trying the kombucha barrel aged beer and seeing you up there winning a gold medal for it, and we can be like, this is where it started. This episode right here, 2-year anniversary. You heard it here first.
We'll take all the unwarranted credit possible.
Oh
yeah. Victor, final thoughts, anything to plug?
I mean, this weekend we're going to be at the Barntown Get Down. If you find yourself in Des Moines, Iowa, gonna be out there with a lot of good people, a lot of great friends. Can't wait for that. We got the Columbia Tusculum Beer Fest coming up on the 16th. Yeah, man, just really excited. You'll see Streetside. We're gonna keep ripping it out, keep those flagships going, and then you'll see me sneak in something a little weird here and there. Some great barrel aged beer. We got a ton of great barrels to choose from. Yeah, you'll see some great blends coming out of here. I think that's one of my main focuses is getting together with these guys and really tasting through barrels and just kind of making sure that we eat lunch first and drink some barrels and really pick and choose what we think is the best and do some like small barrel selections. I think that's a big fun thing about here is we got a couple small tanks that we can really toy around with and do some like really nice small batch stuff. And yeah, I think I look forward to ripping those guys out for you guys.
Good question from one of our beer club subscribers in the chat. Shout out to all Yins joining us. Where do you guys distribute? Where can people find the beer?
So we're all over Ohio. We're up in Dayton.
Dayton?
We hit up Cleveland, I believe, and then anywhere. I think I want to say some northern Ohio. We self-distribute still, so we're not linked in with a distributor yet.
If you're in northern Ohio and you want their beer at a particular place, ask them. Ask your beer distributor. Say, hey, we want Streetside. We want the Return of the Mac.
It really helps us out. I mean,
Yes.
you know, as a smaller business that still self-distributes. Yeah, I actually used to work in distribution as well. A little bit of sales, and a quick trick that I don't know if anyone would really approve. I would call liquor stores. I'd be like, hey man, like you have Whiskey Hill beer, and it would get people to like. I don't think it ever worked actually. I don't think I ever got. I would call them and be like, hey man, you need to get Whiskey Hill on draft. It was kind of like the old Wu-Tang. They would call radio stations and be like, what are you doing? Like, you got to be playing that new Wu-Tang. That's kind of where I learned it from. And I don't think it worked, but hey man, you can make that call and see if you can help us out.
It's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Huge shout out to Streetside, the founder Garrett, for setting us up here and hosting us here for the first ever live stream. Franny, I hope this audio is good. Good luck, buddy. Thanks to Streetside for supplying beer for the show, for giving me a beer tonight, and supplying beer for our beer club. If you're interested in the beer club, you can head over to shop.citybrewtours.com and check out subscription options there. Help support the show, and then also get great beers shipped to you on a monthly basis. Like I said, we got 6 breweries we're featuring this month, and next month we got a great featured city as well. So head over to shop.citybrewtours.com and get subscribed and get awesome beers shipped to you. We will be back next week. Oh, also shout out to 50 West, our other featured brewery. Very awesome brewery over on, you guessed it, Route 50 West. Next week we'll be back featuring an old familiar face on the podcast here. Listerman will be joined by their head brewer Matthew, and going to be talking about 2 great beers from them. But until then, stay safe, be kind, and support local breweries. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.